Yahushai wait, come to take the throne. To conquer world powers, bring Jacob home. I'm quarterbacking like Jake DeLone. Like Mount Rushmore, I gotta face a stone.
I want to say call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, and that's all praise to the Most High, and who the world entered calls Jesus Christ. And today, I want to talk about something that's been kind of weighing on my mind. Just looking around and seeing my people getting slaughtered every single day. All right, we had five Israelites get hung last week. You know, our people been constantly getting necks put up on their knees put up on their necks. You know, things are not even making it to the news. You know, but the so-called white man, the powers that be that's ruling over us, they keep slaughtering us, not knowing or not even paying attention that there's going to be a judgment on them. You know, and we come out here week in and week out and we talk about the atrocity that's been done to our ancestors, and they're telling us to forget about it. But the Most High God, He's going to require that which is past, right? Ecclesiastes 3:15, just real quick, because the Most High God, He's not slack concerning His promises, right? In Revelation chapter 6, something that we're going to get later on today, He promised that He's going to avenge the blood of His saints that's been shed upon of the blood that's been shed upon this earth from His righteous saints, right? So you wicked Edomites, right? Y'all just keep casually walking on stolen ground, acting like nothing's ever happened. But the Most High God is going to require your blood. Right. He's going to have His knee up on your neck. He's going to have that nuke on your neck.
Right.
Right? You got that, brother?
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 15. That which have been is now.
So the thing that has been, which is now. Right? So what happened back then? Our people getting slaughtered, getting gunned down, getting hung. What's happening right now? Same thing.
And that which is to be hath already been. And God requires that which is past.
God requires that which is past, meaning that he wants recompense, man. He requires that, right? So God is not slack concerning His promise. You got that in Jeremiah?
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28.
Because we come out here just like our forefathers, you know, the former prophets, like Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah, right? We're prophesying the same things that they prophesied, right? Prophesying destruction to our people whenever they don't hearken unto the Most High God, and also destruction unto these other nations when they continue to afflict our people.
That's right.
But yet we still give a message of salvation to our people, right? Once they start to hearken unto the law, statutes, and commandments, right?
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries.
They prophesy against. They didn't prophesy for. We're not saying make America great again. We're saying to hell with America.
Right.
We're saying to hell with China. We're saying to hell with all these other countries.
Right.
If it ain't Israel, to hell with you, bro.
That's right. And against great kingdoms of war and of evil and the pestilence.
So we're hoping for war, evil, and pestilence upon this wicked ass country, man.
That's right.
We're not hoping for peace anymore. We never hope for peace. Well, we used to when we were coons in the world, but we're not hoping for peace no more, bro. Because the Most High God has woken up our senses. He's given us His spirit. He's given us His vengeance. He's given us His righteous judgments, right?
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 42. And He said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring.
He's going to liken His judgment to a ring. How?
Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first.
Exactly. So what goes around comes around, right? Karma, as some people will call, right? You reap what you sow. So that's exactly what the Most High judgment is like, right? You take a life, He's going to take a life, all right?
That was it on that.
That was it on Jeremiah?
Oh, you know.
Yeah, go down to verse 9.
God. So, Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 9. The prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that Yahweh hath truly sent him. So
once you start to see these wars and pestilences and plagues coming out, then you're going to be like, dang on, them little niggas up on the corners, they were right. This nuke is coming straight for me. They were right. And then guess what? Like Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, then y'all going to look up at us at astonishment. Like, oh man, This is he that we didn't take into account for his labors. He's the one that's getting salvation. While we're over here burning with Esau. You got that in John 7:7?
The book of John, chapter 7, verse 7. The world cannot hate you, but me it hateth, because I testify of it, that the works thereof are evil.
The world cannot hate somebody whenever they're prophesying for them. But the world hates us because we prophesy against y'all. And this is why they hated our king, man. Because he prophesied and he exposed the wickedness of this generation. Right? People, they look at us like, like yesterday before we started camp. Somebody drove by, flipped us off. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I saw it.
Yeah,
but I'm like, you saw it too?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I don't expect nothing different. Because all we doing is just exposing the darkness. But men love darkness rather than light.
Right.
Get Jeremiah 30 verse 16, and then Luke chapter 18. You go ahead, yeah. So we out here to expose the wickedness, man. Because the Most High God has set us, in Psalm chapter 82, he says that we are gods, right? So he has shown us, with us being gods, he's shown us his righteous judgments, right? So all we are out here to do is to simply be vessels and to proclaim his righteous judgments. And a part of his righteous judgments is showing the world, hey, listen, he is requiring that which is past, and he's going to avenge the blood of his saints.
That's right. This is the book of Luke, chapter 18, and verse 1.
Well, hold that. We'll get Jeremiah.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured.
Who's been devouring us? Esau, Amalek, all these other nations, right? So they're going to be devoured. And what else is going to happen to them?
And all thine adversaries, every one of them.
Hey, what's up, brother? Hey, you got time for the Bible real quick? You do? Okay, come here. How you doing today? Yeah, you too, brother. How y'all doing? Good. What's your nationality?
Christian.
Not denomination. Nationality.
I don't know what that means.
Race. Your pedigree.
Irish.
Irish on your dad's side or mother's side?
Dad's side.
Okay, I'll hold. What about you? Is your dad a so-called black man? Or African American? Is your dad a so-called African American?
Black.
He's black? Okay, cool. Come here real quick. I got a word for you. You believe in the Bible? To a certain extent? What extent do you not believe in?
I don't want to get
Okay, that's cool.
But
No, that's cool, brother. Okay, but did you know that the transatlantic slave trade was prophesied in the Bible? Meaning that you know what happened to our people, right? We came over here to this land by the way of ships to serve in slavery, right? So did you know that was in the Bible? That would happen to us? Let me show you real quick, because this has a lot to do with you, right?
Did you know that was in the Bible?
Slave trade? I'm dealing with them later. I want to get done.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So, are you familiar what happened to the Israelites when they were in Egypt the first time? All right. Yeah. So, all right. So, you ever heard about Moses? Okay. So Moses, he freed our people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. They were serving in slavery and bondage, right? So, right here in Deuteronomy 28, he says that he's going to bring us into bondage for Egypt again, right? So we left Egypt the first time, but now he's saying we're going to go there again. Now, the first time we went there, we just walked over there. You look at a map, Egypt is right next to Israel, so there's no need of ships. So this ought to raise a question in your mind. Okay, now how are we going to get into Egypt the second time? But the first time we walked over there, this time we're going to need ships. So this is obviously a different type of Egypt, or a spiritual Egypt, right?
The Lord shall bring thee to Egypt again.
So slavery again.
With ships.
With ships. What happened to mine and your ancestors? Did we come over here into this land by the way of ships? Or did we walk over here? By the way of ships.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
So we're not going to see that physical oppressive state that we're or captivity that we were in the physical land of Egypt, right? But we're not going to. So this land of Egypt, we're going to come over here by the way of ships in slavery.
And there ye shall be sold.
What happened when we got off this boat and came over here into this land? We were sold, right? Who were we sold to?
Unto your enemies.
So What? Say what? White man. So what's the Bible call the white man? Our enemies. He calls the Israelites. He calls the people that enslaved the Israelites. He called them their enemies.
For bondmen
Slave man,
and bondwomen,
slave woman. They didn't care what race, age or sex you were. Right? You're gonna be a slave. You're gonna serve me.
and no man shall buy you.
Meaning no man's gonna redeem you out of your enslavement. Okay, that's cool, brother. All right, man. Okay. All right, cool. You willing to talk, bro? Come here real quick. What? Is that your girlfriend or your sister? Okay. So you say your father's Irish, right? Okay. So you would identify yourself as a Caucasian. All right. What's your nationality? Hispanic on your dad's side? Both? Okay. Did you come see if you can find yourself on this poster right here? You gotta be scared. We're just out here to dialogue with our people. You see yourself on the side? You said you're Hispanic, you could be Mexican, right? So you come from the tribe of Issachar, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Our lineage goes back to our forefather, which is Jacob. So that will make you Israelite. So those curses, so that one particular curse out of many that we just read out of Deuteronomy chapter 68, it applies to you. Because guess what? The Portuguese, the Spaniards, they enslaved your people too. That's why your people speak Spanish. That wasn't your original tongue. What did you speak before then? You spoke Hebrew, right? You got a precept?
There's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 49. And the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
So what happened to the Hispanics, or the so-called Hispanics? The Spaniards came, and they came from a far nation, from a distant nation. They came and swooped up just like an eagle, and they enslaved your people, raped, robbed, and murdered your people, and took your land.
From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Meaning, you're not going to understand their language, right? Because that's why, whenever that's just the tactics of colonialism. You know, when you take over a particular nationality of people, you're going to enforce their beliefs, or your beliefs upon them. You're going to enforce your ideologies and your language upon them as well.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young.
Now, how did they do that? If you're an old woman or an old man, they're going to despitefully treat you. They're going to treat you despitefully, right? So, what was an example of that? Whenever your ancestors, they were pregnant, right? They used to cut out the womb, take the baby out, do all type of atrocities to it, smash the head against a stone, whatever. They just didn't. There was a nation of fierce countenance, right? They didn't regard anybody.
Real quick, I'm in the same book, same chapter. I'm about to read another verse. Are you familiar with what's going on down at the border right now? How there's children separated from parents and things of that nature, right? Watch this. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Is that what's not happening right now? All right, the Mexicans, they're giving those little kids, they give it to another people.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
So you're going to look at them, you're going to look at your own kids as being taken away from you, and you're failing. You're failing in misery, just wishing that you can get hands back up on them. But the government got their hands up on them.
And there shall be no might in thy hand.
No strength in your hand to redeem them. You know, so your kids are gone and there's nothing you can do about it. The government just got complete control of you. But why does this happen? Because these are curses that was put upon our people. Give me Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. Because these are curses that are put upon our people because we didn't hearken unto the Most High God's commandments. Because He's our God. So our God punished us, right? He chastens the ones that He loves, right? So that's why that's just a clear. You can clearly see that in reality, right? Because what nation of people can anybody just flat out say is the most oppressed people on the face of the globe? The so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans, right? Anywhere you can go to China. Guess who you're gonna find at the bottom of the totem pole of so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American? Well, not Native American, but you got Native Americans over there. But guess what? They're gonna be at the bottom because these curses gonna follow us.
Actually, we should think about that.
Yeah, what do you think about all this? Yeah, that's right. And I'm gonna show you that he's your God, right? He's not the God of everybody. He's not the God of the Chinese man, contrary to popular belief, contrary to what we've learned in the Christian church, right? And it was prophesied that the heathens, they're going to take our book, right? And they're going to lay open the book, give us that image, and not just what comes along with that image, their doctrines, meaning God loves everybody, the Trinity, Immaculate Conception, just blasphemous things. You know what I'm saying?
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. You said that we have to look to God to resolve the issue, right? So I'm about to read what God is here, and I'm going to read the solution. Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass. God, but it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So if we don't listen to what he says,
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these
curses. Now, some of those things that we just read, that happened. He wrote that after he wrote that particular verse. So these were curses, right? Us being sold unto another nation, coming over here by way of ship, your kids being taken away from you, curses.
Shall come upon thee and overtake thee. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So this is the remedy, this is the cure to reverse these curses.
To observe to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So once we turn back to the Most High God, like you said, once we start looking to God for the answers, and what goes along to looking for the answers, doing his will, which is his laws, statutes, and commandments, more than 10 of them, contrary to popular belief, you know. So once we turn back to all his laws and have faith in who the world calls Jesus Christ, then he's going to look down upon us, have pity upon us, avenge our blood, and then he's going to take us back to our own land, to the land that he promised our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So you have precept. So how do you feel about, like, with you knowing that you're the chosen of the Most High God? Give me Amos 3, verse 1. Right. Yeah. Yeah, he's raised up in these last days, you know, spokesmen, right? People that's going to rehearse his righteous acts and who's going to declare his judgments out here and prophesy into this air, so he can wake up the dry bones. Meaning, basically, the people that's a part of our nation, right? When they hear this word, it's going to resonate with their spirit, and they're going to be like, why does this bear witness so much to me? Because you're going to realize this book has everything to do with me, because I was there. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to hearken into this word if it bears witness to your spirit, and you're going to start doing what your God requires of you. And this is why, and I'm going to show you this, and what you got.
In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
The word holy just simply means separate. It means separate. So we're a separate people. Why are we a separate people? I thought we were all supposed to be together. I thought it doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, Chinese, or whatever. I thought this God wants everybody to be together. No, he says his people, they're separate people.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee.
He's chosen us. So that means he looked, before the foundations of the world was ever created, he looked down upon planet Earth. He's like, I'm going to choose this particular cluster of the vine, and these people are going to be mine. He's chosen. Give me John chapter 6, verse 44. Because we can't come to God on our own. He chose us. No man can come to God on his own.
The book of John, chapter 6, verse 44. No man come to me except the Father which have sent me. Draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day.
So the people that's being risen up on the last day, These are the people that God chose from the foundation of the world. We didn't have power to come to him ourselves. He looked down. It was because of his mercy and his grace. Like, I want you. Not because of anything good that you've done, but simply just because I want to have mercy upon you. You know what I'm saying? And so it just so happened the Israelites that these Israelites, these are the people or the family of the earth that he chose to have mercy upon.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
Right. So we didn't have any type of free will to come into the Most High God. Before we were even in the womb, right? Before we came out of our mothers, God chose us. And that's the beautiful thing about it. So with you knowing that you're Israelite, and give me Isaiah 45 verse 4. With you knowing that you're Israelite, that should give you a sense of pride, but yet also a sense of humility, knowing that the God of the universe, the God of Israel, just so happened to be the God who created all this. He chose me. He could have created me to be a so-called Irishman or a so-called Jew, fake Jewish man, the people that colonize our homeland today. He could have chosen to be one of those people, but yet he simply had mercy. He's like, I want to shed my glory and my love upon you, right? So he said he's gonna. Did we finish that or no? Yeah, give me that. I think.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 7. I formed the light. Verse 4. Isaiah 45, verse 4. For Jacob, my servant, for Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, my elect.
My elect. What does it mean to elect? To choose. Like you elect the president. You chose that president. So God is calling Israel his chosen. Once again, like Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6 says.
I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me.
Right? Though we have not known him. Right? Because how do we not know God? We're alien to his. For the most part, the majority of our people that's a part of the nation of Israel, we're alien to God. Right? What did like Romans chapter 2. But even though we're aliens to God, Romans chapter 2, it talks about how when we're Gentiles, we still did the works of the law, not knowing that what we were doing was containing God's law because it's in our spirit. Because God chose us. What you got?
The book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 27. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
So God is in the midst of Israel. He's not in the midst of the whole world. He's in the midst of these Israelites. Just so happen we're scattered across the four corners of the earth by the way of slavery. Because this is a part of the punishments that he put upon us because we disobeyed him when we were in our land. So he drove us out of our land, and that happened in the year 70 AD. Are you familiar with 70 AD? Probably not. Well, okay, we'll get to that later.
And it's like, and that I am the Lord your God and none else.
So he's the Lord our God, Israelites, and none else. How do you feel about that? Knowing that he's your God and none else. Makes you feel good, right? That the God of this universe is your God. You know? You're a holy person, meaning you're a separate person. Do you have any children? You don't have any children? Well, you know, according to the Bible, do you want to have children? Do you want your children to be chosen?
No.
And just to finish the verse, and my people shall never be ashamed.
And his people, we shall never be ashamed. We shall never be ashamed because we know that we have the Most High God upon our side, right? And he punished us because he loved us. You know, just if you were to ever have kids, you know, you're gonna, discipline your child because you love that child. You're not just gonna allow that child to continue to go off, you know. If you truly love somebody, you're going to sit down and dialogue with them. You're going to reason together with them. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what the Most High God wants to do with us. And that's what he's been doing with us. But he's got to purge all these filthiness out of us by allowing us to be set over here into this distant land, a foreign land, amongst heathens. You know what I'm saying? So he's got to just cleanse us by his word. So if you got any questions, just let us know. Our YouTube channel is on the top of that. Our officer's phone number is on the top of it as well. And, so we're out here every Friday, every Saturday. Fridays, we usually get started like around 6:30 or 7 p.m. Saturdays, we come out here around 4. So, all right. Yeah, so yeah, back to the lesson. All praises. Where did we leave off at? Oh, Jeremiah 13:16 and Luke chapter 18. Yeah, so going back to the lesson, basically talking about how God's going to revenge the blood of the Israelites, our righteous, well, his righteous saints' blood that's been shed upon this ground is going to be required of it, right?
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity.
All of our adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. It's not going to be one of y'all that's not going to be gone to captivity. Why? Because y'all led us into captivity. So y'all are going to have to be devoured. It's your turn to drink of the cup down to the dregs, as Brother Deacon loves to say.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 18, verse 1. And he spake a parable unto them.
So this is a parable in regards to the avenging of the blood, right? So let's see what Yahushua talks about.
To this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint.
So we should be praying and not faint. Shalom, shalom. So we should stay in prayer constantly, right? And not faint. Meaning when we approach the Most High God, we need to approach His throne with boldness, not because of our our righteous doings, but because of knowing and having faith that we have the faith of Yahushua and we're covered by His blood.
Saying, there was in a city a judge which feared not God, neither regarded man.
Does that remind you of a place? That reminds me of downtown Dallas. This reminds me of Dallas. We know that the judges, they don't fear God here.
And there was a widow in the city, and she came unto him, saying, avenge me of my adversary. And he would not for a while, but afterward he said within himself, though I fear not God, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. So, verse 6, and the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge saith, and shall not fear God, avenge his own elect. Why cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth?
So this unjust judge is going to avenge the blood of this widow's adversaries. Not necessarily because of him just having a change of heart, but just because he's tired of this widow coming and pleading with him and just begging him. So the Most High God is like, okay, so if the unjust judge is going to do that, what do you think I'm going to do for my people that I've toiled and spent all these years investing my time and my love into them? So of course the Most High God is going to avenge our blood. That's why He says when He comes the second time, is He going to find faith upon the earth? Is He going to have? Is His people still going to have faith that He's a God, that He's a man of His word, that He's not a man that He should lie? Because we're going to remember, like, Lord, we remember that you told us in your word that you are going to avenge the blood. So are we still going to have faith right before He comes, that He's still going to honor His word? Lord willing, we will. Lord willing, we will. Give me Leviticus chapter 24, verse 17. And Leviticus 19 and 16 in the NLT.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 24, verse 17. And he that killeth any man shall surely be put to death.
So whoever kills any man shall be put to death. So you wicked Edomites that's been killing my people, y'all are going to surely be put to death. Not necessarily by our hands, but by the Most High God's sword. That's going to be bathed in Idumean.
That's right.
That's how you're going to be put to death. So y'all keep on going at it, man. The more blood y'all shed, the more of y'all are going to be put to death. You got that?
The book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 16 in the NLT. Do not spread slanderous gossip among your people. Do not stand idly by when your neighbor's life is threatened. I am Yahweh.
Don't stand idly by whenever your neighbor's life is being threatened. Whenever you see another Israelite man or Israelite woman's life being threatened. So let's just give you an example. If we see a cop right here and we see a Jake, right, and he's getting gunned down, the cop is aiming his gun towards him, or he's got him in the chokehold. There's a commandment from the Most High God. Don't stand idly by whenever you see that, right? Because we're men up here that honor God's word, and we say that we keep the law, statutes, and commandments. So along with that, we need to be bold and courageous, right? But because that's a commandment as well. He told Joshua, he says, do not fear. That's a commandment. Be bold and courageous. So we need to be bold and courageous and not idly stand by whenever we see our neighbor's life being threatened. Gird up your loins like a man and do whatever you got to do. Quit videotaping. Quit videotaping. There's a time and place when you need to videotape whenever you see, okay, yeah, my brothers can handle that. But if you see that your brother's life is being threatened, drop that damn phone, bro, and go do something about it. Because then the blood is going to be required upon you if you don't. And then at the end, he says, for I'm the Lord. Why did he say that? You need to recognize, bro, who's telling you this. Can I have you hold something? Get Numbers 35 and 33. Because Numbers 30, yeah, because it's the only way that this polluted land is going to be cleansed, man.
The book of Numbers, chapter 35 and verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defiles the land.
Blood defiles the land, and we're in the defiled land. How are we in the defiled land? From all the years of saints' blood being shed upon this wicked ass soil, bro. That's why the crops just come out just all withered already, right? The farmers, they have a hard time toiling here, bro. They have a hard time harvesting. And the ground is cursed. The ground is cursed, bro. You got, even the seeds. You got some fish coming out with 3 eyes. Everything on this planet, bro, is cursed now. So that's why he just got to make this thing afresh again. And he's going to make it afresh again by the way of fire. That fire, it has a way of cleansing some things, bro.
For blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
But by the blood of him that shed it. Now, how does that happen? How does that happen? So, if you kill a man, I'm going to have to kill you. That's the only way we can make this thing right.
Yes.
What Malcolm X say? He says an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That's a good religion. I agree. That's a good religion, bro. That's just. That is not dealing with unjust measures or unjust balances. We know that an unjust measure is an abomination in the Most High God's eyes. So the only way we can make this thing just and true is if you be put to death. So all you people saying all lives matter? Not at this point, bro. Nah, we way past that, man. Cause some of y'all, like Tyler I brought out yesterday, some of y'all just created for the sword. Cause we gotta make this thing equal again. Shalom. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Hey, brother. Hey, what's your nationality? What's your nationality on your father's side?
My father's side?
Yeah. Mexicano? Chicano? Okay. You ever heard that you're chosen? You're chosen?
I've seen y'all out here, bro. I'm running away to work now.
Okay. All right, brother. Be safe.
Hey, man, y'all hard to find, man.
What's up, brother? Oh, I remember y'all. Y'all doing all right?
We not that.
Cool.
You know who we are?
I say, if you come to the eyeball, you can see us. Shalom, gang. Shalom, gang. Shalom.
He got 2nd Ezra 15, verse. When you get 2nd Ezra 15, you know okay, I'll wrap it up. This is my last one. And then you go Revelation 6. Oh, you a second one? You got 2nd Ezra. So you get Revelation 6 on the head.
Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy.
So that's what we're doing right now. We're speaking into the Israelites' ears right now. These prophecies,
which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the indignation against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee.
basically meaning your doubts. Don't let their doubts, don't let their disbeliefs trouble us.
that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
All the unfaithful is going to die in their unfaithfulness. That reminds me of Revelation chapter 22, verse 11. Let him who is just be just still. Let whom that is unjust be unjust still. For I come, but he says, behold, I come quickly to give every man according to his deeds, right?
Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world.
The Most High God's bringing plagues upon this world. Just like Jeremiah chapter 28 says. He says, I'm prophesying against many of these nations of war and pestilence. So the Most High God, he's the one that's bringing all these plagues upon this world. Right? Corona, this ain't nothing compared to what's about to really happen.
The sword, famine.
So he's going to bring the sword. He's going to bring famine, scarcity of food.
Death and destruction.
Death and destruction,
For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth.
Oh, how's the world polluted? We just read in Numbers 35. Go ahead.
And their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore said the Lord, I will hold my tongue. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood.
Whose blood?
The innocent and righteous blood cried unto me.
What does it do?
Cried unto me. The souls of the just complain continually.
So these people there's blood that's been shed, their souls, they're now back into the spirit world before the throne of the Most High God, and they're complaining to God. How are they complaining to God? We're about to read in Revelation.
Verse 9. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
So now it's time for the Most High God to require that. He's requiring that blood. He's about to collect that blood to make that blood to basically balance out these scales again. He's right. What's that? Okay, he's basically about to balance out this wickedness that's been put up on this earth, the pollutedness of this land, right?
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6 and verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, doest thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?
So the same thing Ezra was talking about, same thing that John the Revelator is seeing. Right? He's saying that these souls are complaining to the Most High God, just like that widow was complaining to in that parable to that unjust judge. Right? Are you going to avenge me of my adversaries? So we need to still have faith in the Most High God that He is surely going to do that thing. His word is going to be accomplished upon this world. So this world can now finally not be defiled anymore. Right?
Verse 11. And the white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them, that they should rest yet for a little season until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were.
So this is why the Most High God isn't this is why He's not shedding His blood right now, right? All right, those souls that's up in the throne room of God right now, right? He says just wait for a little season, because you still got some more brothers and sisters. Their blood is still going to be shed. So I'm just waiting for all this blood to be collected until I finally pour out my judgments upon this world. Is that it on that?
God, that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled.
Until it's fulfilled, until all the blood is fulfilled. You know, so I just basically brought that out to allow y'all to don't be weary, don't be troubled when you continue to, because these things that we've been seeing on the news and up on Instagram and social media about our people continue to be slaughtered, it's gonna be more of that. So don't let it catch you by surprise. But we need to keep the faith, right? So when Yahushua comes again, He says, will I find faith upon the world, right? Will I find faith? Lord willing, we still going to have faith that He's going to avenge the blood of our ancestors and probably going to avenge our blood as well. Because we know that a lot of us probably going to be put to death as well, teaching His word. You know, so with that, stay strong-hearted and shalom.